Welcome to the Linking Slinkies podcast, hosted by me, Al.
And me, Howie.
Just a couple of mates who thought we were pretty funny in high school and need an excuse to catch up now that we're old dads with busy schedules.
We catch up every week to discuss the good old days, as well as what's going on nowadays in our lives. So you're into rehearsed intros that I still can't get right, then this is the podcast for you.
Subscribe for new episodes every Monday, 8 a.m. And remember, never try to fix your mate Slinky.
Welcome back to episode 12. We did it, mate. I say that every episode. We did it. Like we're accomplishing
Just for
something.
coming back next week.
I'm just preparing.
The calendar invite's there. We're just waiting for one of us saying, I can't do this Thursday. How amazing is it we've managed to do every Thursday?
Yeah, we haven't missed one yet.
No, that's good. I'm glad we're a week ahead still, but because it's coming.
That's what I'm waiting for. Yeah. That's why, I thought we'd do a week ahead just in case. There'll be a day. I don't know, but we're going to have to take a break, right? Soon across Christmas. It's not that far away. It's already end of September.
I know. Yeah, we've been, I think the last couple of weeks have been close. We've been pretty flat out the last couple of Thursdays.
Flat out. How's your week been anyway, mate?
Right, non-stop. It just doesn't stop. I'm getting used to getting back up early again. Like I was enjoying my sleep-ins.
Yeah.
So having to get back up early again, but it's okay. Nothing like a sunrise. Weather though. Weather's fucked at the moment.
I thought it was good.
Oh no, it's like 4 seasons in a day at the moment. Like it was summer for days, like really, really hot. And then we woke up one morning and it's snowing half hour away from here.
Yeah.
And then it went back to being hot again.
Yeah.
And then I woke up the other morning to like a frost.
Yeah.
And I was like chiseling the window, like the ice off it.
Yeah.
And then I walk out of work and I'm just covered in sweat. It's just...
What season is it at the moment? I don't even know. Is it autumn?
Fucked. That's the season. Spring. Spring is the season. It's ridiculous. I feel sorry for trees. Like all the trees and plants, like they've all just come out. They're like, oh, I'm just gonna be, I'm all out. And then the frost comes like, what is going on?
It's almost like climate change is real, mate. That's it.
Oh, it's almost like climate change is real. Yeah. So summertime, that I'd want to be a tree. Because they would be pretty confused, I think.
Yeah, it would be confusing to be a tree, but they can talk to each other, mate. I watched this mushroom documentary on Netflix, and trees and stuff they talk to each other.
Why'd you watch that?
You know why.
Yeah, mate. So weather at the moment, I've had enough of it. I really have.
But so you just said so you've got to get up early because what, lockdowns eased off, right?
So back at work. So
okay.
Up
so
early,
your daughter is sleeping through the night?
She gets up about 4-ish.
Yeah.
If she has a bad night, she gets up about 11 or 1 and then 4 and then about 7. But if it's a good night, around 4-ish she gets up.
Okay, yeah. So you're already getting used to it. Yeah. Wait until so what'll happen is she'll start sleeping through the night for like a week straight.
Yeah.
And then she'll have a bad night. And that will be the tiredest you've ever been because your body's like, we fucking did it. She's sleeping through the night. And then you get that night sleep. And then she'll have a bad night and you'll be dead. That's the worst. Because that's what happened with Millie, with us. She started sleeping through the night. And we're like, oh, this is so good. And then she had like a bad night, or she's had a bad couple of weeks. And then you just die because your body gets used to it. You just get so used to that broken sleep that you finally get sleep, that your body starts to get used to that, and then boom. Yeah.
So like when she was first born, like I was getting used to getting up like 3 times a night sort of thing. Like I was feeling fine, and those 2-hour sleeping blocks, like the first couple of weeks were rough and then it was fine. And now that we're starting to sleep a little bit more, but as soon as she has a bad night, I know I'm just going to be dead.
Yeah. God, I miss sleep so much. Sleep deprivation is just the worst form of torture. It has to be.
I know. I just hate
listening to this podcast.
hate when people snap me and just like, oh, just getting out of bed. And it's like 8:30.
Mate.
What I would do for that.
You're preaching to the choir, mate. I know all about it.
Yeah, not even 8:30, but not having to be up during the night, like just like a 10 o'clock till 8:30 sleep.
I don't care if it's 6:30, but as long as it's a solid sleep.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But this last week, mate, we've been so busy. So we're trying to get the house reevaluated because we're refinancing our mortgage because ME Bank fucked us over. I hope they're not a sponsor of the podcast. But anyway, Ron, I don't know anything about interest rates and mortgages and finance and banks and money laundering and all that sort of good stuff. So when we set up our home loan, like the first couple of years were really good. They put you on a good rate, but then they just change it. Like they probably sent a letter in the mail and I got it and it had a bunch of numbers on it. I'm like, yeah, whatever does that mean? And now it turns out we're on like the highest interest rate in Australia for our home loan. So we've got to refinance.
So the word you're looking for is you don't know how to adult. Is that the word?
Google how to adult, basically. So now we're going to refinance, but our house, it's just because it's just there's so many little things we need to get done. There's like the little things like painting skirting boards and a couple painting and regrouting. So this whole week I'm pulling out like half of our grout has come out in the tiles. So I'm like scraping out this old grout and regrouting all the tiles in the whole house, as well as working full time, as well as raising a 7-year-old, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. It's actually my daughter's birthday today. Happy birthday, Millie. Go to sleep.
Happy birthday, Millie. Go to sleep.
She's
Big one today.
Yeah. But trying to do all that and just cooking dinner because the whole house is, you know how that moment when you go to clean your room, you sort of need to take everything out and it's all the shit is just everywhere. It's just chaos before the storm or the dawn or darkest.
I was about to say it's darkest before the storm.
Whatever. We're in the dark right now, and I'm fucking feeling it this week, mate. Anyway, just no sleep. Work for example. So Monday, I went into work, and for everyone listening, I live quite far away from my work. It takes me about an hour on a good day, an hour 15 average, and it can be about an hour and a half on a bad day to get to work and to get home. So it can be, on a bad day, it can be 3 hours of just driving, commute time. So I get up at 5 o'clock because Millie's up at 5. Get ready. I'm half dead, struggle out of bed, get some things ready. I'll probably leave about 6 o'clock, get to work at just before 7:30. Work, such a busy day at work. Go to the gym in my lunch break, finish work at, 4, get home at 5:30. I walk in the door, start grouting straight away. The kids are fighting. It's chaos everywhere. We're grouting, putting them down. I probably stop at 10 o'clock. Like I've been up since 5 a.m., non-stop work to 10 o'clock. I'm like, fine, just go to bed. And Millie has a bad night's sleep. Like, I'm just like, I feel like shaking her and going, I'm doing this for you. Like, how many babies does it take to grout a floor? Remember those?
I was about to say, you're doing it wrong. Like, they should be grouting the tiles while you're at work. What's the point? What's the point if you're not going to delegate?
Well, Lainey, my 7-year-old now, is at the point where I'm like, can you unpack the dishwasher? And she'll unpack the dishwasher. And can you take the recycling out? She can take the recycling out. I'm like, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Next is cooking dinner. When she could cook dinner, I'm going to retire. She can finally self-sustain herself enough that I'm like happy with it.
Yeah, you nearly have enough kids to make a basketball team. Like, surely you could get them to do odd jobs around the house, you know?
So you just keep having more kids. Yeah. The oldest raises the youngest. Yeah. Pretty much.
Delegate.
Yeah. It is good having the older daughter there to help with the younger daughter too, because they do watch her. And if I'm, I don't know, wrist deep in baby poo, I can say, quick, pass me the wipes, that sort of things, and she'll run and get the wipes, sort of thing.
Yeah, all the jobs you want to do.
Yeah, I know.
Like getting on the floor and realizing you have the wrong tool. Hey, do you want to get me that?
Yeah, they're really good like that. And they are good girls. It's just so full on. Like I said, Millie's 1 today. She has not been away from us ever. She's never been away from us besides her sleeping and we're not with her. She's been with one of us 24/7 for a year straight. Literally
just sick of her.
have not had one break from her.
Yeah.
Non-stop.
Do you hate her yet? Or?
Yeah. She'll be listening to this in 20 years. I love you, Millie.
I just want to say that the sun will shine again, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Does that make things better?
Is that the sun before the storm or after the storm?
I'm tired. I'm cranky. I got a million things to do, but the sun will shine.
Well, I'm just going to live, laugh, love, whatever. But it's actually been, it's been a really tough week, mate. It's long. It's only Thursday now, and I'm just looking forward. And I'm like, I just got to hold out till the weekend, live for the weekend. But I'm not working my job on the weekend, but I'm working house jobs on the weekend. So I'm just like,
problem solved.
And we still got to renovate another room and do all this other stuff before the valuation. First world problems. Remember that?
First world problems.
Hashtag, I need to refinance my mortgage on my big house.
You just took white males back about 200 years.
But I do feel bad talking about my house because I have a lot of friends without a house and that are renting and, find it hard. That's why when I got my house, if people are listening and they did this is fine, but everyone posts on Facebook, oh, look, we're in debt for the next 30 years, and they take a photo in front of their house. But I never posted that on social media because I took photos, but I felt bad, like being like, look, I have a house, and I just read it as that because I've seen that in the past and been like, well, I don't care if you have a house, or felt bad that I was renting at the time, and I didn't want other people to feel bad. Like if you did that or other people do, I don't care if you did that. You obviously do it because you're proud of it, but I just didn't want to take a photo and be like, look at me, I got a house, I'm better than you, and I never posted that.
Yeah.
But anyway, I do have a house, and I'm fucking better than all of you.
It's fine now. Yeah, it's
fine now.
It's got shit tiles, but other than that,
but the grout.
The grout.
I'd love if someone just walks in and goes, "Damn, look at that grout." Has anybody ever looked at grout? Who the fuck cares about grout in goddamn tiles? Because that's what I was talking about. I'm like, who cares about these holes in the grout? It's like, oh, what if we get less evaluation? Who walks into a house and be like, oh my God, the grout, I'm going to mark you down 20 grand on your evaluation.
See, that's the thing. Like, they don't overly, I think that's why I messaged you and said, like, what are you re-grouting for? Like, I don't think it even comes into that. Like, it's more from when we got it done. They told us it's more like the land, like how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, like the features of it.
Yeah.
But they don't care if I have like a spray painted dick on the lounge room wall.
Yeah.
And like a cupboard's broken, like, because all that stuff's just like cosmetic.
Exactly.
Like you want to make a good impression because it makes them feel like it makes them feel like the place is worth more, and maybe they're a little bit more generous. But in terms of like the actual document, they say like the cosmetic stuff, because we didn't even have turf, and I'm like, oh, I want to have turf, and they're like, it's not going to add any more value to your house whether you have grass or not.
Exactly, yeah. And like repainting a room, it doesn't cost that much money. Even if you're paying someone to repaint a room, which we actually painted our own, but even if you're paying someone to repaint a room, in terms of the amount of money compared to a house price, it's nothing sort of thing.
If you're selling the house, it's a bit different, like a coat of paint and stuff like that, because that might attract, it might be able to get them to offer more on it. But in terms of the bank just evaluating for a loan, like they don't care about the cosmetic stuff. Because when you think about it, your house, they valued your house at say 400, 500,000 when it was just a block with a plan. And then when it was built, that valuation didn't really change.
Exactly. Yeah, and our area is pretty good, and a lot of good stuff's happening around the area, so I'm hoping it's going up. So we want to do some landscaping and stuff, but hashtag first world problems, man. Yeah. Somebody said I complain too much on this podcast. Well, I'm complaining about you complaining. But we actually had some positive comments, mate.
Oh.
Howie and Al's Remembering Project, totally not ripped off from other podcasts, came out the other day. Got a very warm welcome. I thought it was a fantastic episode, mate. Listening back to that, what'd you think?
Loved it. Loved it. The cringy skits. They were good.
yeah.
Ali's little skit where she just starts singing.
It was good.
Incredible.
I didn't know what to put in there, so I just chucked that in. I thought that was pretty good.
YouTube flagging us for using music.
Yeah.
So good.
Copyright claim for the 10 seconds of Through Fire and Flames.
Take us to court. Do you even know who we are? Slinkies.
Imagine if we actually got sued. How good that would be for publicity.
Just empty our pockets. You can have this.
Yeah.
It's just some grout.
So one of the YouTube comments on the Linking Slinkies podcast, number 10, Howie and Al's Remembering Project, it reads, congratulations, boys, on your 10th episode. I love the episode. Remember, people, to never put a torch in a microwave, and also to eat all the ginger nut biscuits you can, as due to COVID, ginger is really scarce. I've written a poem for both of you, all words from my trusty Scrabble book from 1980. So this is an acrostic. You can go check, if you're listening, check it out on YouTube. It's written like an acrostic poem. So it says, loonies inked nice to their mums, kinks in a link, identical nabobs, gone mad, slip-ups, likable, impressive, naughty, kaleidoscopes, imaginative, Elaines? I don't even know what that word is. ELYSIANS. And Slinkies forever linked. Ah, beautiful.
That's so good. Who was that by?
Jennifer Button. Thank you for commenting.
Jennifer Button.
Incredible. And we actually got an email as well from longtime listener, Bitch Shitten, the return.
Oh, he's back.
He's back. So
he loves us.
Reads, hello, boys. Bitch Shitten here. Alex, your daughter is a culinary genius. A shepherd's pie with a sausage on top. Mwah! To express my approval of this idea, I've written the following acrostic poem. All right. So this ties into the German shepherd's pie. It's written like an acrostic poem. It says, look, I now know I need German shepherd's pie. Lean in near, kiss its external sausage. Lots of love, your shittest fan, Bitch Shitten. That was fantastic. He wrote the acrostic poem for our name, and it references a joke we did, what my daughter did about the German shepherd's pie. Fantastic.
He's got us there. That's good.
Thanks, Bitch Shitten.
We need to get him on. We got to get him on.
Get him on the pod, mate.
Get him on. Bitch, if you're listening to this, if you can just buy a decent microphone, headphone, just download some software. We'll get you on.
And also, Howie, we also sort of launched our website there. So linkingslinkies.co, you can go to check it out. You can see some funny pictures and listen to episodes on there. But I was actually... Give me a drum roll. Give me a drum roll, mate. I received an email stating that we were number 25, but we are now number 13 out of 30 for Australian comedy podcast websites.
Holy shit.
I'm going to leave 13. A link. I'll leave a link in the show notes. We did it. I don't know how we did it.
I thought it was a stitch up. I thought you paid someone.
We're Feedspot's top 13th Australian comedy podcast website. We beat Stick to the Script, Swords and Monsters, I Just Called to Tell You a Joke, Dragon Friends. We beat you all.
Sure. And tell them how close we are to Hamish and Andy. Tell them how
Hamish and Andy are number 5. They're not even number 1.
And we're 13.
Yeah.
Number 1. I've never come 13th in anything.
Yeah. Where's my trophy?
Most improved.
Yeah, most improved podcast. No, most improved Australian comedy podcast website. They're not judging the podcast, just the website.
Yeah, just the website. Oh, right.
I'd like to thank WordPress and your free themes. Oh, and Data Dimmer for helping me with that too. He helped me with that. But check out our website, linkingslinkies.co. Can't afford that .com.au yet.
We will, though. We will.
Please don't steal it.
Please
can you imagine if someone gets linkingslinkies.com.au and just put some shit on there?
Yeah. Look, I don't think they will because they listen to how hard it is for us to say our own name. They're not going to commit to a life of that.
Yeah. All the hard work we put in. So thank you to the linkingslinkies.co website. And thank you to, of course, Feedspot. So you can visit them at blog.feedspot.com and look for the Australian Funny Podcast. Number 13. Let's bump it up. I don't know how we get up the list.
Yeah.
I'll put some more features on there on the website.
Yeah.
If you can suggest a feature I can put on the website, send it in and I'll put it on the website. And
how do we go to 25 to 13?
I think just because I replied to the guy's email, he was happy. Look,
he heard about your Charles, didn't
he? Yeah, it's not a bad website, but I mean, let's get, I don't know, if you can think of some, I'm not a design person at all. So let's bump it up a few knots.
I thought it looks good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Okay, so Howie, my dad got a phone, right? You know my dad, he's been a mechanic for 69 million years.
He didn't have a phone.
Never had his phone his whole life. He's never had a smartphone. He's only used the house phone. If he's ever went out, mum's just, where's dad? You know, you can't contact him. He's just out, right? He finally
comes back or he doesn't.
Yeah, I was going to get some smokes, Dal. Never comes back. Daddy. He had to get a phone because the COVID check-in stuff. He needed a phone to always check in and stuff. But it's weird because I just get a phone call. I'm like, hello, Alex speaking. It's like, hey, Al, it's Dad. I'm like, holy shit. Like, he has a phone. It's so weird that my dad has a phone because he's never had a phone. He's very old school. And now I'm texting my dad. It's so weird to have this texting relationship with my dad, which I never had before.
Yeah.
It's like another, because the way a person talks in person is different to the way they talk on the phone, which is different to the way they text. Yeah. So it's sort of different again, because I don't know about your phone, if you've ever talked to your dad on the phone, but I'm sure other people, it's like, hey, dad, you know, it's quite to the point, quick, and then, do you want to get mum? Yeah, put mum on, you know, that sort of, which is fine, it's just all right, you know. But now I've got this texting my dad, and I love it. It's great. So I finally get to text my dad. I just thought it's so weird that after all these years, 29 years of my life, almost 29 years of my life, I've never texted with my dad before. So now I get to text him and send him emojis. Just started grouting, Dad. Good luck, buddy. You know, it's like, good. I don't know. Do you text your dad or do you call him on the mobile smartphone?
Oh, look, I text him a little bit, but mostly like just call. Like if one of us needs to chat, we just call. But I kind of wish my dad didn't get a phone.
Why?
Oh, no, it's nothing against Dad, but fuck, he just loves a chat. Loves a chat, and he always complains about people being too long on the phone. But he'll call me, and I'm just like, hey, I'm just at work. You all right? And he's just like, yeah. Just there was just that. Oh, bloody hell, what's his name? You know what's his name? You know what's his name? He was friend of Jerry. Jerry's last name is Jerry. Geez, what's his like? Jerry's sister's, what's her name? I'm like, what? How are we three people deep?
And
I don't care what the first person's name was.
Yeah.
And he called me to tell me he won't be long. I don't care what the first person's name is. Just tell me the information that's relevant to me.
Yeah.
And we can move on. But then you feel guilty. You're like, one day you're not going to be able to call your dad on the phone and you'll be like, I wish I could, hear that. Yeah. But when it's happening, I tell you what, I'm just just text me, Dad. Text me what the issue is. But he's and he loves his Facebook. Loves his Facebook. Just sharing. He loves a coffee, so he shares the coffee memes, and then Mum then shares the meme, and then like a family member then thinks that meme's funny, so they share it, and then I just see the same one repeatedly, and I go, Dad, you can just save stuff. You don't have to. I said, why do you share so much? He's like, oh, so it's on my wall and I don't forget about it. Like, you got this save button here. But he's like, oh, no, I like when people like it, though.
Do you like it? Do you like his post, mate?
No, and then I get in trouble for not liking the stuff. Like, Dad, I'm very popular. I got a lot of people on there. I don't see it.
I don't like on Facebook where you like something and other people see what you liked. I don't like that. I don't like that. Not a fan of that. So I get what you're saying, mate. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so weird. It'll be interesting once our daughters are older, sort of texting them or calling them on the phone. Or I can't wait until they are much older and they're on social media. Do you think they're going to allow us to be friends with them on social media?
Oh, I'll make a fake account.
Yeah, and just post shit.
Well, I'm friends with your daughters on Facebook already.
Yeah, that's true.
They post themselves all the time. Not really.
No. But just, it'd be interesting to message them because it's such a different, Have you ever looked back at old messages you've sent with people and you just cringe? It's
so much. Like that memories function in Facebook.
It's the worst.
Like when there's really good stuff, it's good, but like otherwise, things like 10 years ago, you're drunk and stuff like that. It just it makes me just hate myself. Sad.
I think in 20 years, it'll be just straight up funny.
Yeah.
In 20 years, it'll be so far that, oh my God, look at this. That's so funny. But like that 5 to 10 year gap is close enough that it happened not that long ago, but not far enough that it was so long that it's just cringy. And it's like, look at how I used to write things and thought that was funny. And I can't wait till we're... Yeah.
There you go.
I can't wait till we're listening to this podcast and be like, oh my God, did you listen to number 12? Cringy as. Anyway, about torches in the microwave.
Yeah. No, it's because we sort of come straight out of MSN where we were abbreviating everything and then we started making statuses. So like we're abbreviating this stuff. Like, I can't even spell. But one of the ones I had was for every like I'll do a shot or something. And I remember doing it. I was at a party and I was like, I'm pretty sure we're at pre-drinks or something. And I thought it'd be fun. And I had like 30 odd likes or something.
Did you do 30 shots?
I don't think I did 30 shots. I think I was doing them for a while though.
Yeah.
I remember it being written off that day.
That is pretty
the next day.
That's pretty fun. What if we make a status? After this, we should make a status update on the Linking Slinkies Facebook page. It just says, for every like, we'll do one shot. Just no picture, no context.
Yeah. All 3 people that follow us. So we can do 3 shots, surely. Maybe this week is just all about cringy statuses.
Send us your cringy statuses, especially those
like for
Facebook memories. Like for a like. Oh, yeah. And just seeing how even that late 2010s where I remember people started using hashtags, right? And everyone's like, oh, hashtags are so dumb. But then you sort of ironically started using hashtags. You'd put a funny hashtag in, like, hashtags are dumb, like, just off to the gym, hashtag, or if you don't post it, it's not true. And then a couple of months go past, then you add in hashtag gym. And then a couple more months and you're just using straight up normal hashtags. And you're like, that irony becomes part of everyday status updates. It's the same with talking. When you mock someone, you're like, oh dude, or hey man, and then eventually you just saying dude and man. We're talking about before. It's that irony. Yeah.
That's me. Yeah, that's me. I used to do hashtags just to take the piss. Yeah, and then I realized that then I realized that the hashtags actually help the business.
Yes.
To get the posts out further. Yeah. So now I actually have to put thought in them. It was so much easier to do hashtags when I was just taking the piss though.
Yeah.
I'd just write anything.
Yeah.
Now it's got to be strategic.
Yeah, I guess people follow. Do you follow hashtags on any social media?
No, not really, but it just like helps it get outside your circle because like just the algorithm, like people will just start scrolling through and stuff will pop up. So yeah, I don't really follow the hashtags though.
Yeah, I know. There is one or two hashtags that I actually follow on Instagram, the very specific ones that it is interesting to see come up. So it does help. But anyway, hashtag podcast clip, hashtag funny podcast, hashtag this is a very funny podcast. Listen to it.
Hashtag 13. Isn't 13 an unlucky number?
Yeah. Because on TikTok, you have to I don't even think you have to put the hashtags in there, but I'm trying to put hashtags in for TikTok because a lot of people click on the hashtags on TikTok there. There's insane numbers on TikTok. TikTok, I just got a TikTok. That bloody TikTok app. But if you look on the hashtags as you're putting in that says how many views, for your page ones and the variety of them have billions of views. Yeah. Is that legit?
I don't know. Got to be. I guess so.
I wonder how many Chinese bots, because our videos on TikTok, some of them have like a couple of thousand views.
Yeah.
We have like
amazing.
And then you can look right now at our YouTube view count. If you're watching this, look at the YouTube view count and then compare that to 2,000 views on TikTok. It's insane.
And 2 of those views are us rewatching it.
Back in the day on YouTube, you used to be able to refresh to get the view counter up. I don't think it doesn't do that anymore. It's very different and hard because people exploited that. Anyway, check us out on TikTok. I'd like a new TikTok friend. Have you been watching much TikTok?
I've been loving TikTok.
Yeah, still addicted.
I've been a little bit less this week, though, actually, because I was nearly late one day just because I just got in the zone, and so I'm like, no, all right, no more.
Yeah,
I had a couple of days off it.
Yeah, but now you're back on it. Yeah,
of course.
I feel like I've seen most of the good ones though, and like you've got to give it a couple of days to sort of get some new good videos because I'm constantly, I'll just check it in the morning. Oh, I'll just check it before I send this email. Oh, I'll just check it before lunch. Oh, I'm just going to take a shit. I'll just check it now. And then you've just seen them all. Yeah.
Every video on TikTok.
Pretty much. I feel like I've seen everyone. Also, mate, nicknames. Yep. I've been thinking a lot about nicknames in Australia because not many other countries come up with nicknames or good nicknames. For instance, Dylan, Dillo. Everything's got to be O on the end. It's Steve, Steve-O. Mick, Micko. Well, I guess Mike and stuff. But I love nicknames in Australia, but we also abbreviate everything. So service station, Servo. Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. The nicknames, why do we abbreviate everything in Australia?
Oh, mate, we're busy people.
Busy people. Got to get that servo in time.
But the thing is, sometimes we make the word longer, like Steve. It's just one syllable.
Steve, yeah.
5 letters.
Steve-O. Yeah.
Steve-O.
Steven.
2 syllables.
Stephen.
But, they probably called Steve.
Yeah, I guess so. Or Al. So Al. There we go.
Yeah, Al.
Heard of that
or like me, Dylan, 2 syllables, 5 letters. Howie, 2 syllables, 5 letters.
Yeah, I guess so. LT.
It's only shorter. LT. We added bra, so LT.
No, I just like how they abbreviate everything here. It just saves time.
I love really clever nicknames. Like I heard this one, they called this guy Keth because he had no eye or something like that. Yeah, he had one eye. Keith. Yeah, it's called Keth.
Keth. Sounds like Mike Tyson pronouncing it. Hey, Keth.
A client, his wife calls him Squirrel because he'll be talking and the next minute he'll just stop and he'll just start looking around as if he's looking for nuts.
That's great.
Like he just gets distracted. I thought that's so good. But he'll just be going, yeah. And you start looking around. Like there's just, and he does it all the time. And I thought that was so good.
So your daughter's name's Cora. Are you going to give her a nickname?
I was thinking like Cos or Cos.
What about Well, you call Cora.
Oh, I was calling her Ra for a bit. I was calling her Ra. Yeah.
Yeah, because my daughter's name Elena, we started calling her Lainey.
Mm.
Allison we call Ali, and Amelia we call Millie, or sometimes we call her Mimi or Moo or Mimi. And I always think of Mimi from the Drew Carey show.
Yeah.
Remember that character Mimi with all the makeup on? So that's what I think of my little Mimi.
Oh.
But from Amelia to Mimi.
Yeah.
How do you even get that? Anyway. Amazing. Yeah, think of a better nickname for Cora. We'll have to come up with something better.
Yeah. Write us in
at linkingslinkies linkingslinkies@gmail.com. Not the linking slinkies. But if you can abbreviate Cora K.
It's 4 words.
K. Get over here, K.
Okay. That'll do. Just make the noise.
We need a nickname for the show. The LS show. It's just too long. I can't pronounce linking. What if I've got a lisp?
We basically do when we say it. We didn't think that through. We're just like, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Let's
try and read it out loud.
Yeah. We didn't even go welcome to the. We just like, oh yeah, that'll do.
The Slinking Linkies podcast.
Yeah. Slinkies have links. We broke our slinky. We were broken up for a little while. We're linking back together.
We're slinked together.
Slinked together.
Yeah. Hashtag slinked.
Hashtag slinked. Wonder if anyone's following that hashtag.
Find out. Okay, mate. So what are we going to do for this episode to finish it off? What do we got?
I thought we are going to do our top 3 comics. So 3 favorite comedians or podcasters. Yeah. And podcasters. Like we can just talk into it talking, really.
So, because comedy, for me, comedy is so important. I only watched comedy movies growing up. I only watched comedy shows growing up. I only wanted to make jokes. I only wanted to talk to my friends and be funny. I remember having a conversation with my uncle once, and he's a big film nut. He's one of the guys that goes to theaters to watch French films with subtitles. He's one of those film nuts. And he was talking about drama films. Like I was pretty young. I must have been around 10. And he goes something along the lines of, what's your favorite drama film? And I go, what's a drama film? And he's like, a drama film. It's not funny. It's, stuff. I don't even know how to describe a drama film, but sad things happen, some drama.
Sad things happen.
And I'm like, I don't think I've really seen a drama film, maybe a bit on TV, but I couldn't tell him. And anyway, he ended up borrowing from his neighbor the DVD. What's that one? Not Pulp Fiction. Basic Instinct, where the lady she crosses her legs and you see up her skirt. Is that Basic Instinct? Have you seen that? Anyway, I remember thinking, where are the jokes in this film? Why aren't I laughing? Because I would constantly just watch comedy film after comedy film. I was a big Chris Farley fan. I had all his movies on DVDs. Adam Sandler fan, of course. Every kid in the 90s was. I just watched comedy. Stand up. I didn't know other people. Obviously, I knew action movies existed and stuff like, I don't know, Die Hard. But how could you not watch comedy all the time? That's all I wanted to watch. I remember watching so many comedy movies at your house. Meatballs. Meatballs 5. You got to see boobs. You got to laugh. Who doesn't like comedy movies?
That's everything you want. Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I really appreciate drama. I really appreciate the talent and all that kind of stuff. Like how hard it is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm the same. Like everything I watched was comedy, action, thriller kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I get horror movies. If you're a horror movie fan, it's sort of a niche on it. But to me, the standard is comedy movies. It was just what I went to when I sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I guess my top 3 favorite comedians, because it's sort of, there's stand-up comedians that do acting, like Eddie Murphy, but there's also just straight up stand-up comedians. But then there's the straight up comedy actors like Chris Farley. I love Chris Farley. He's the best. He's so funny, but he never done stand-up. Like he did SNL and stuff, but he never actually did stand-up. He wasn't a stand-up comic, but he was probably, growing up, my favorite comedian actor, I guess you could say. Black Sheep, fantastic. Tommy Boy, fantastic. Beverly Hills Ninja, fantastic.
I miss that movie. It's been ages since I've seen that.
I would say he's my favorite. I would say he's my favorite comedian actor just from them. But then also, so he was sort of a bit the generation before us, and then our generation was probably more Jack Black, right?
Yeah.
School of Rock. I loved School of Rock. Orange County, The Pick of Destiny. Huge Jack Black fan, but he never done stand-up as well. So he's not really a stand-up comic, but he's a comedian. He's probably my second favorite, I guess, because he's so funny, charismatic. He's just the best. I love Jack Black.
Yeah.
What about you? Who did you like?
I've got so many. Like when I saw this, I've been trying to think about who are the people that have made me laugh the most. And there's a huge list. Like I don't think I could pick my three favorite. Like I've recently got into Bert Kreischer.
Bert Chrysler.
Kreisler.
Bert Kreischer.
Kreischer. Yeah.
I love Bert Kreischer.
He's so good.
Have you seen his special? Sorry.
On Netflix. Yeah, I watched them all.
Yeah.
Like the one that I think's made me laugh the most would have to be Carl Barron.
Yeah.
Just dry observation. Oh, just dry humor. Jimmy Carr, just how offensive he is. Jim Jeffries.
Oh, I love Jim Jeffries.
Again, just how offensive and like right he is.
Yeah.
But then just like a heap of little ones, like Robin Williams special, like that made me cry. Denny Boy.
Is that the Robin Williams one where he has 42 water bottles behind him?
Yeah, and he's just covered in sweat, and he talks about golf. So good. But then the same, like Adam Sandler. I loved Adam Sandler movies, but I couldn't really get into his stand-up too much. Like it's a bit I found it like his punchlines and stuff were good, but his delivery I found really depressing kind of thing. Like it was he had some good stuff. Same as Seinfeld. Like I couldn't really get into his. He was funny. I liked him on Seinfeld.
What's the deal with airplane peanuts?
Yeah, I just couldn't hear him over his yelling. So I think they were all very funny, but their delivery, it wasn't. I don't know anything about it, but to me, like their delivery just didn't hit, even though their jokes were super funny.
I know what you mean, and it's some you might like the stand up, but then in movies they suck. Or in movies, they're really good. And in stand-up, I don't want to say suck, but it's just different. It's the same with podcasters. There's so many podcasters that I listen to that are hilarious. They're off the top of their head. They're so funny. And then you sort of watch their stand-up and it's like, I don't want to say it's bad, but it's, just listening to them talk is so hilarious. But listening to, I think you've got to have a certain style for stand-up, and it just doesn't always translate.
Definitely. So our mate Norm, who rest in peace, God bless his soul.
Norm McDonald.
I watched that moth joke. And I did some research because I'm like, he doesn't look well. Like he's like looking up at the sky and all this kind of thing. And I did some research and talking to some people, and it was on the Conan O'Brien podcast. Yes. Their next guest bailed. So they asked him to fill an extra 7 minutes. So the joke was meant to be like 15 seconds long. He made this joke go for like 5 minutes. I thought that was that made that joke so much fun, so much more funny, knowing that he just had to drag it out, and he did.
Because I don't think he wrote the joke, like spoilers. I don't think he wrote it. But you can see him, he goes, Doc, it's my son, Ezekiel. See, he's troubled. The boy, is keeping up. And you get to see that improv skill, which I love improv as well, which we'll talk about in a second, which I love improv. And that voice, because he's just taken this joke of a moth going into a proctologist. These are the bum doctor, whatever. And you're like, this is a weird setup.
Podiatrist, the foot doctor.
Yeah, whatever it is. I thought it was the bum.
Oh, they're pretty close, Al. Don't worry about it.
Imagine if you screwed up. You're studying medical school. What do you want to do? What's the feet one? I want to do feet. And you put down proctologist, and then you rock up on your first day. It's like, all right, here we are. I thought this was the feet doctor class.
But as a patient going to the wrong one, like you go into the foot place. All right, it's just real red and just roll it down.
But you see Norm's mind go, and to me, that's my favorite because I love improv. I'm a huge fan of Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh, yes.
Because the laughs there, it's in the moment. It's not pre-rehearsed. I do love stand-up, but stand-up, they've said that line 400 times. They've rehearsed it 400, and sometimes you can really hear that. And it's still funny the first time you hear it. But to hear a person come up with a line in the moment and you see their click and then they're sort of half laughing behind, trying to keep the most contagious laugh, we've mentioned it before, is when you can't laugh. And when you see an improv comic like half laughing this funny line, it's the best. It's the best. I absolutely love it. That's why that moth joke is so good, because you're right. He had to extend to 5 or 7 minutes, whatever it is, the guest, and he didn't know what to say. He just coming up with this joke that
like, yeah, no worries.
Fantastic.
Yeah, 100%. Even in movies where the lines rehearsed, but like in one of them, can't remember the name. It's a Johnny Knoxville movie where his uncle's trying to make him rort the system, so he has to join the Special Olympics, but he's fine.
The Ringer.
And the Ringer, yeah. And there's this scene where there's like, when the fuck do we get ice cream?
Yeah.
And I watched the commentary and he said, we did this like 100 times and I could not stop laughing. So they had to film the scene with his head into the next person's like arm. And you just see him losing it. And they just have to cut away straight away because he had to be in the scene, but they just couldn't film it without him laughing.
That's awesome. Yeah. I love improv. So one of my favorite podcasts is called Harmontown. So do you know Dan Harmon, who that is?
I don't know. Yeah.
So he co-created Rick and Morty. He also made the show Community.
Oh, that's right.
Have you seen Community?
Yeah, watching Community at the moment.
Love Community. Fantastic show. He made Community before he co-created Rick and Morty. And Dan Harmon has a podcast called Harmontown. And it's filmed in front of a live audience, but it's also a video podcast and an audio podcast. But they also have Jeff B. Davis he's sometime on Whose Line Is It Anyway? He's the guy that always wears a suit. Have you seen him, Jeff Davis? He's the comptroller of that podcast. But they also have Rob Schrob, who made an awesome comic book, Scud the Disposable Assassin. Anyway, when they get into their improv, it's the funniest shit ever, because to me, they're the funniest improv guys everywhere. They go into the podcast, they don't have a plan. So Dan Harmon will start the podcast with, my asshole's itching. And then he's so smart, he'll go into a 20-minute rant about capitalism, but then the three of them will improv a scene about Batman, and Joker fucking each other for 10 minutes. And then at the end, they'll play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I love Harmontown. It's one of my favorite podcasts, but I love improv. I really wish we did improv class, or just coming up with a scene in your head and playing off with someone is the funniest thing. Because that's a funny shit when you're sitting around with your mates having a drink and you're just bullshitting about something funny.
Yeah. So like, I guess, have we told the gay bar story?
No.
Oh, that's probably our best example of improv, isn't it?
All right,
let me set the scene. We got a little bit of time.
Set the scene, mate.
So as we spoke about before, Alex would come to New South Wales, or I'd go to Queensland to visit him. And we went to the Gold Coast, and we got a little bit like it was a Sunday night. We messed up the days. Anyway, the Gold Coast wasn't really taken off. So we're like, we might go into Brisbane. So we went into Brisbane, and Brisbane was no better. We drove an hour and a bit with a little bit of alcohol and
into the valley.
Into the valley, and Brisbane was no good. There was nowhere open, anything like that. No. So we found this bar. Now, we were just so excited that we finally found a bar that we completely ignored all the rainbow signage. We ignored the name, like everything about this place just screamed it's a gay bar, which is fine. Like, that's cool. But we didn't know. So we went in, and there's like 6 people in there.
Yeah.
And they obviously looked gay, and we still didn't pick up. We just got a Corona, and then we're just sitting at the table, just, you and I having a D&M, is that what they're called? Yeah. About how much fun this weekend's been and can't wait to come back. Like, if anyone looked at us, you could tell we were in love. Like, we were so happy with our weekend. And then like we started to take notice, I think. And I think you just went, I think this is a gay bar. And then I'm just like, no, I don't think. And then I just see all the flags on the bar. And I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. And then we had this old guy just come over and he sounds like Mr. Bean. All right, let's set the scene. He's like,
he looked like it too.
Yeah, like couldn't understand a word he said. He just comes over and starts talking to us. And we're like, oh no, here we go.
Here we go.
And he just kept asking us questions. So I think he said, are you two together? And I was halfway through saying, no, we're just best mates. And you've cut me off and like, yes, yes, we are. And then we just improv at its finest. Then he was just asking us questions about our wedding because we both had rings on and all this stuff. And it was the best. I think that my favorite part was he's like, oh, your parents okay with it? It's like, yeah, they love it. And they're like, oh, do they give you a nickname? And I said, yeah, they call us Peanut Butter and Jam. And he's like, why is that? And it's like, because I'm a bit nutty and he likes to jam. And this guy just like melted in his pants, I'm pretty sure. He was so happy.
Oh my God.
But yeah, he was definitely trying to take us back to his house.
I forgot all about that. That's so true. Yeah, because you're about to say, I thought, let's have some fun. We're in this gay bar. No one knows us. He doesn't know who we are. We're two guys in the middle of a night talking closely, intimately with each other. He doesn't know we're not together. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I think we even held hands on the table.
We were holding hands, yeah. I had my hand on your knee. If he had asked us to kiss, we would have done it. We were committed. We were going the full Monty.
And like, we weren't making fun of gay people. It's not like we're saying, oh, I'm gay, blah, blah, blah. We were just, it was funny because we weren't a gay couple, but we were pretending to be a gay couple in a gay bar that we didn't know about. And he's asking
place open.
Intimate details about our personal life, our marriage, how we got together. And you're right. At the end of the conversation, you were sort of winding down. It's like, oh, where are you boys staying? And we're like, oh, just an Airbnb. Oh, just the two of you? It's like, yeah, just the two of us. He's sort of hinting at, you want me to come back? He was. That is I forgot all about that, mate. That's hilarious. That's so fun. See, also when you're in on a joke and someone else isn't on a joke, but not necessarily making fun of them. We weren't making fun of him or the gay people. It was just, I don't know, this bit that we had together that was so funny that we're in peanut butter and jam and improvising our parents and what they think of us. And
we had chihuahuas too.
Oh, chihuahuas.
He asked us about our pets. Yeah, it was exactly. It wasn't making fun. It was just we saw an opportunity to have a laugh and we took it. Didn't hurt anyone.
No.
Good corona. Yeah, great corona. And then I come back to town and I told one of my mates who like always was out in Brisbane. And he's like, which one was that? I'm like, this place. And he's like, how did you not know?
Well, didn't we walk out and there's like a 400-foot rainbow flag next to the entrances? It's probably called like the golden swallow or the white swallow or something as well. Oh, that's a nice bird.
We just wanted a beer. We just drove an hour and a half. We'd been walking for ages around the valley. What a night. That was funny.
That was good. That was good, mate. Yeah. So that Harmontown podcast, how do we get to there? Was fantastic. But also I love because I listen to podcasts all the time. 24/7. I constantly need this input. That's my Harmontown is the back. But also like Joe Rogan is one of the first podcasts I started listening to because Joe Rogan's fantastic because he talks about DMT, eating elk, MMA, science, aliens in sentence after sentence, and they go for 3 hours. It's fantastic. I love Joe Rogan as well. So I can't wait till we're on Joe Rogan podcast.
Yeah. We'll be on. Hey, we're number 13, we're getting close.
13, yeah. When we're number 1, I'll send him an email. Joe Rogan at gmail.com.
Yeah, I bet you he can't afford a domain. I see podcasters I use for like learning though. Like I follow a lot of people for learning stuff. But I did used to like the Jim Jeffries podcast. Arnie Donna is a really funny one. It's 3 Australian guys that basically just improv stuff they do, and they're really, really funny.
Love that.
But yeah, if I'm listening to a podcast, it's because I don't have time to read about it, so I'll just listen.
Yeah, it's helpful. And Two Bears in One Cave. Have you listened to Two Bears One Cave?
I've heard of it. That's
Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. I've listened to every episode of that. No other podcast has made me laugh out loud as much as that, because Bert's laugh is very out there and contagious. There was this one moment, it's probably got to be top 5 podcasting moments of history. So Bert Kreischer made a dance video to promote his upcoming tour, and it's just him dancing in his Speedos, and he's promoting it. And they were talking about before how Tom Segura and Joe Rogan should make a dance video. Anyway, halfway through the next couple episodes, Tom Segura is like, "Oh, you're good at making promo. I made a promo video as well." And Tom Segura puts a video of his dance video on for Bert.
Yeah.
And Bert Kreischer is bawling, hysterically laughing, because he's never seen this before. And Tom Segura is dressed as Steven Seagal, and he's in this dance video, and he makes Bert Krishna. He has this machine shirt on, and he's got a bucket of vodka, and he stabs him at the end. It's so hilarious. Every time I watch this clip, I cry laughing. It's so funny because of how funny it is to him, and it's just so contagious. And you watch him, and he's like, "Shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up!" And he's just laughing and laughing. It's hilarious. Those moments where you just can't stop laughing. I love Two Bears in One Cave. Two Bears, One Cave podcast. They're almost at 100 episodes too. I love that podcast. We'll get there.
So improv. I agree. Improv. Improv's the best.
Whose Line? We should do. Is there a Whose Line Is It Anyway board game? That'd have to be.
I don't know. Surely we can find something. Actually, no, I think there was a card game or board game thing.
Yeah. We should do that next time we meet up, because I'd love to do that and film that.
Yeah.
We should do our own Whose Line Is It? Because that show makes me laugh so much.
Yeah.
I genuinely laugh. That had Robin Williams on it once. That was hilarious.
Yeah, that was the one I was watching only a couple of days ago. I was just watching him. I love that show because that's on TikTok. So follow that hashtag on TikTok. Yeah. Get all the old vids.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love Whose Lines anyway. Yeah. But anyway, I love podcasts. I love comedians. I love comedy. It just... I don't know. As long as I remember, we've always just loved comedy. We love making people laugh, each other laugh. It's just everything. Everything has to be a joke to me. It's so hard to be serious. I'm constantly like, if I'm just at Laney's school, I'm thinking of these jokes. I'm thinking of these funny shit but you can't say it because you're around normal parents.
Yeah,
it just sucks. I'm just constantly thinking of these funny shit to say.
Yeah, terrible stuff happens, and if I can't make a joke out of it, I don't think I can deal with it. Like
I know.
Someone said, and they're really confused, but someone said, "Oh, I'm gonna, take your daughter and run away, and you'll never catch me." I'm like, it's funny you think I'll chase you. And I thought I was hilarious, and this person was just shocked.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'd chase you and see if you needed anything else before you go. Like, you forgot the pram.
A little while ago, the neighbor, we have one bad sort of neighbor on one side, and they're I don't want to get into too much details, but they're pretty bogan. They're pretty out there. They're pretty bad, whatever. And their kid goes to private school, and they're only in primary school, and they're in a private primary school, right? And we were having this conversation once, and this is before we were talking, and they somehow, it went along the lines of this. The mother's like, "Oh yeah, well my son actually goes to private school." And in my head, I instantly thought, "Oh, I didn't know they had private special schools." And I just could like biting my lip. I was like, I want to say this. I want to say this. I want to say this. And like I was getting an aneurysm in my head from not saying. I didn't realize they had private special schools. And no offense to people that go to special schools, but this kid deserved it. He
because you hate him so much. Yeah.
I was like, that's the best line ever. But I just commented here.
So what's the worst that could have happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he could have just like and then just backpedal. It's just like no, not special like that. You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Because he's like a genius, isn't he?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. Like he's going to be Olympian, surely.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to mention comedians as well. So one of my favorite, Louis C.K. How could I not mention Louis C.K.? I was just thinking of him before. I was watching a bit. My favorite stand-up bit of Louis C.K. is his neighbor George or whatever. He moves into a new building. Have you heard this bit? I don't want to spoil it, but basically look it up on YouTube. I think it's just type in Louis C.K. neighbor, and it's about he's talking to his neighbor, and basically the whole bit is I'm going to butcher this, but he's having this confrontation with his neighbor. He's moved in, is really bad. It's in New York, and his neighbor's like, "Oh, why did you move into this building?" You know, it's like, "Oh, blah blah blah," and he's talking this conversation, and then just before the end of the bit, he's like, "This didn't actually happen. This all happened in my head," and I was like, "Oh my God." How many times, I don't know if you do it, but you've had fake conversations with someone. You're at a shop and you're like, oh, that person's going to come up to me and say, I need to wear shoes in this shop. Well, I'm going to say, well, I needed fucking dumb head to move into this shop or whatever. And you're just constantly coming up with this conversation in your head. And it's like, boom, 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 boom. And yeah, he has this bit that was just fantastic. Louis C.K., his neighbor.
Check it out.
I'm like, comedy.
Mate, that's us.
That's us, mate. Fantastic episode as always, if I do say so myself.
Well, we don't have to say so ourselves because we're number 13 now.
Number 13.
So, yeah, it's not just us saying that we're good. Other people think so as well.
I think also if you visit our website, linkingslinkies.co, and also like our Facebook, because it says on that Feedspot blog how many Facebook and Twitter followers. So if you follow our Twitter and like us on Facebook, it might bump us up.
Yeah.
On the page. So we're number 13 at the moment. Hopefully by the check this out, we might be, who knows, number 12. I laugh if we go down.
Look, if we can get to number 1, we'll release a free podcast episode.
Just one.
Just one. Just the one.
Oh, thanks for reminding me about that gay bar story. That was fantastic.
Yeah, enjoy that. I can never forget.
Yeah. All right, mate. I'm going to go finish up and do some more grouting. Woo! Shout out to grout.
Enjoy the grout. Just pay someone.
Oh, mate. Don't get me started. Thanks for listening to the Linking Slinkies podcast. I've been Howie.
And I've been Al.
And as always,
never forget to fix your mates.
Slinky. Great improv.
Peace.